I want to read out something. It says, I lost my mom to cancer last week. She was a huge fan of the podcast. She loved the podcast and it had a special place in her heart. I wasn't able to watch last week's episode because it was too much for me to handle, the grief and the reminder that we would always watch the episodes together. I tried again today and was finally able to get through. Wow, this guy's calling me. I'll call him. I was finally able to get through this episode today. As always, you guys are all hilarious, right? I just wanted to say a big thank you for making my mom laugh. My mom laughed during the good and the tough times. Thank you for inspiring lives, sharing gems, and adding humor to our lives. You all are doing a wonderful job with The Mics Are Open, and may it continue to prosper. So from The Mics Are Open to Paprika, we want to say our condolences to you and your family.
Much.
Definitely not easy to lose a parent.
Sorry for your loss, Paprika.
Sending love and warmth.
Sorry for your loss.
For sure. Love and light.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The mics are blood clot open. Check.
Select accent for the podcast.
Calvin always late.
Find Jesus, brother. Or Allah, or any form of religion.
Manzi unajua juzi bedhe nilikuwa naongea na nilicheki there's something I was reading and someone was saying venye Mandula uibio masjid.
Lakini mbona umetumia hiyo sheng manze Ndula bro
Manze
Unajua Calvin ako the wrong side of 35. You can't really blame him.
Ndula
Manze jana nilikuwa na heavy conversation naambia mtu fulani watu wagawana dhani si njumu
Gwanda fisa
kopole ko 5 bob inaitwaje saizi
5 bob atigo sijaona 5 bob in so long ndo nijua na
tu
ngovo ya kitambo
ngovo si ndio manze lakini
ngovo
ni kitambo but nini kuna ilikuwa ina ni mix os
So ilikuanga so.
How the fuck is it so?
See, so reversed.
Bro, that shit is not flying.
Unadaruka akili.
Manze kuna msee niambia kios niko like before I knew os what os meant, right? Because you're like os. So man, so leave it at so.
Unajua kio ilitokea aje? Like how kio became 100. Kenya shillings 100 kio. Like K100. That's how it became like 100 ilianza kuitwa kio.
I didn't know.
Yo.
Did you see this man's face?
Kio. Shilling?
Yeah, K100.
Kenya shilling 100.
Shilling has such interesting etymology.
Wait.
The way words come about, saying is very interesting.
So yesterday, tuanze.
Ishaanza bro.
Okay. Okay. Episode 292. The mics are open. We're back in the place. My name is Big C.
Andy Young.
Back by popular demand, Hafare.
Straight from Turkan, Malik.
Yes,
Malik and Hafare in the building. Yay! That's the only intro you get. Yeah.
So, madam anapiga duru bado kwa nyumba.
So, you know, while we were just talking right now,
Yeah.
So yesterday I was teaching someone Swahili. You?
Nah.
Yeah. I was teaching Swahili.
The podcast.
Yeah, and you guys are gonna be so proud of me. You know, basic Swahili English. Basic Swahili beginners. The first 3 words that I taught them. Well, the first 3 sentences. Guess what?
Jambo, habari gani?
Niaje.
Funny enough, it was umbwa wewe.
I obviously.
Number 2, chura wewe.
Chura.
Number 3, punda wewe.
Calvin, you can never be an ambassador for us, man.
No, but I told them,
you've lost all rights, bro.
I told them
those rights.
No. I told them, here's the thing. I think when you start with a couple of insults when you're learning a language, you actually go and...
No, you started off well. Umbo was good. That was a good start. That was warm.
Chura.
But then chura, nah.
Chura. Like,
Chura
so setting them up was like, hey, listen, so when you come to Kenya and you're saying, hi, niaje, what, and someone tries to con you, and you see like the degree at which they're trying to con you or be rude, you can call them, you chura. Frog, you punda, or you dog. You get?
Yes, call them big animals like ngamia hii.
Ngamia
ng'ombe wewe.
Because he's here from Turkana. Like no one has ever been called ngamia hii. No one would ever get offended.
Even in Turkana, you don't
Yeah,
say.
ngamia.
No, see, it's the level of insult. You
Ungemwambia
know.
jidishi.
Jidishi, bro.
Fighting words. If somebody
jidishi.
trying to scam me, mwambie jidishi. Fighting words.
Yo, speaking
Ziende
about
kwa comment section hapo manze.
jidishi,
Yeah.
what are some of the first insults you learned in Swahili? Actually, let's start with that. First insult you learned.
That's a tough one, bro, because we've been knowing Swahili for a long time.
But I feel like us guys when we were growing up, Umbwa Wewe was like supreme. Then as we got older, all of a sudden we realized that there was a word called KUMA. And it was like, God
That's the
damn.
one. That's the one.
You know when we just got
And
to
then don't get your mama
the
hapo
whatever, the kamusi. You know, I mean, standard one, you didn't have the kamusi.
Yeah.
We started using the kamusi in what? Like slightly upper primary or
Class
something.
4.
Yeah, class
Class
5.
Class 4.
Yeah.
Then guys would just buy the kamusi and never, you just look for that one word in K.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me, Umbwa was like classic.
I'll say the first word I was taught in Kamba was Kitimba.
Same.
Kitimba is
Yeah.
what?
It's us.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And you're in
It
Mkamba.
even sounds big. Kitimba.
For me,
Is that right?
I know, right?
because I also went to high school in Ukambani. The first insult was Ngite.
Oh.
Ngite's dog.
Ngite is dog. So that was the first one. Ngite, Katimba, and Muditi.
Muditi is what?
Asshole.
Wow, man. That's a lot
So
of
if someone
ass,
says
bro.
Muditi
Wait. Sikuna Mudithi Road nini?
Muditi.
Okay,
not
Mudithi. Oh, fuck. I confused. Like,
Bro.
I see what you want today.
I'm like, yo, what the
I see what you want today,
Muditi
Hafare.
Road.
No, me.
I'm with it, bro. I'm with it.
Me
Let's go.
nimetulia. Anyway, like me, the first insult I remember learning is Malaya.
There's that. Yeah.
And you wouldn't even know what Malaya was. I just knew it was offensive. Aujui Malaya ni nini. Au kujua later in life utakuwa unalipia.
That's like, wow.
Ama uko unajua utakuwa.
Unajifanya hapa ni kama mjenda danguro.
It's so consistent on this hookah story. You told us this story before on the pod.
No, like here's the thing. You people act like it's the oldest profession for a reason.
Yeah.
Like you have to, like, sex work is real work. Just respect it. Well, if you've ever worked in a government office, by the way, just notice on a Friday, your boss will always come back smelling like imperial leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Job
maybe
is job.
it probably is not. It could just be his side chick or his chick.
His side chick could have nini shower gel.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, say for instance,
Tell us.
No, like you're gonna see your chick in the middle of the, like dem gani una date dem anaoga na imperial leather.
yeah, it's possible. What's the problem?
Is it wrong?
Si mnatumia ile sabuni yenye iko kwa bafu na kama ni imperial leather iko bafuni.
Here's the thing, like danguru iko na imperial leather because watu wanaoga mostly ni men. So unaweka sabuni ya wanaume huko ndani. Ukienda kwa nyumba ya dem utapata shower gel na vitu kama Rexona, Lux.
You're trying to say like after coitus in those these lodgings like close to town or in the CBD, like, you know, Ambassador huko Quarter and everything, men are the ones who shower.
The men shower with the little like unjonga ile imperial leather inatoshana na 20 bob, the katsaini one. Yeah, see the babes have their own like stash chini ya kitanda.
Like you so what are you talking about? You're talking about hookers or like actual
Goddamn.
people,
Actual
girlfriends?
babes or who?
No, like hookers.
Oh,
Yeah.
See, they
well,
are-
I'm inexperienced. Tell us, because you seem to know.
Anthropology. You need to talk to people. I work with people face to face.
Of course, yeah.
Yo,
A lot of-
you're good.
Yeah, I work with people face to face. Like
You're
I've worked with former convicts who've told me like really scary stories about kwenda by they going to jail. If you're a man, 95% chance utatoka na ukimwi. And I'm sorry about that. The same way we've worked with like I've worked with refugees, I've worked with former sex workers, and these are stories you get from these people. Wanakwambia like we do A, B, C, D. This is how we work. Some of them would tell me like walikuwa naishi like they have a brothel, they have a pimp, and then the brothel has a dorm for them where they eat and sleep for the whole period of time that they're there. Some of them have been trafficked across borders. Especially within the Kawangware Kangemi quadrant hapo, a lot of them are Burundians and Congolese who come looking for a better life. It's just part of the job.
It is.
But anyway,
That's insane.
Nini imperial leather ndo iko kwa danguro. So just let's leave it at that.
That what?
Danguro.
Bro,
It's
why did you guys do this, man? Come on, man.
We started talking about
We started
talking about Swahili.
No, bro, me and speak about. No, listen, I know there's a lot of people right now who are just like,
No,
bro, come on, don't use big words like that. You know what the hell is danguro?
Danguro is brothel.
It's brothel in
It's Swahili sanifu for
Yes.
brothel.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
We started this pod talking about Swahili. Let's
Swahili,
keep
yeah.
let's keep that in. Let's
And
feel
you're the
weird.
teacher. You're the Swahili teacher.
No. Listen, for me, I was literally, I was just like, it was like the ABCs of Swahili. Bro, me, I tell you, like Swahili wasn't, like we've mentioned this on the pod before. Ngeli's in Swahili was one of the most nonsense things ever. Like if you've ever applied it somewhere in life, do let me know.
But it applies everywhere.
Ngeli ya what?
Ngeli is
Where? Please tell me where you've used Ngeli. I'm here for it.
In
when
conversation.
you use in conversation when you're referring to an object in singular and in plural when you're making reference to
No,
it.
but did you
it's
need to
gonna
get?
apply.
But you didn't need to get taught this. You already were speaking it.
No,
But you
I
need to
feel
know
like
the breakdown to apply it
Yes.
when you're getting introduced to words maybe you are not familiar with, when you're phrasing sentences of your own that you haven't been taught. Kwani unapatiangwa default sentences unakanazo kwa akili zenye utatumia in future. You construct your own. So how do you construct your own? By understanding the construction itself, the breaking down and how it came about. So unatumia kila siku but hujui that you needed to learn, oh, this is wagwan.
So like, okay, so just do some Ngelis for me. Ngeli what and what?
Kivi, for instance.
Kivi. Okay,
Yeah.
break it down. Go for it. Because me, I'm telling you.
Kitabu hiki,
Si
vitabu
changu.
hivi. Yeah, si changu.
So,
Vitabu hivi si vyangu.
See,
that's like-
Vitabu
like
hivi
plural.
si vyangu. Yes.
yeah. But what I'm trying to say is this. You didn't have to go through that draining double Swahili session to understand.
I think,
You're
I think
projecting
it's
something
important
different.
because
Guys, let's stop the pod from turning into Jesma, please. let's stop the pod from turning into Jesma.
Let's go.
Just for test paper. But who gets my point? It was a bit.
No,
are you trying to tell me you guys were like?
Okay, I don't think it was really necessary to teach like little kids all that. Like the way it's a very specialized level of language learning.
Yeah.
Like you have to be like
It's very
studying
granular.
a degree. You have to be studying a degree
Exactly.
in Swahili. You have to be Wala Binwala to now break it down and just. But
Nah,
again,
I think-
that's what
I think-
That's what I feel like it's a bit granular.
No, I did
Cause
Spanish.
what-
I did Spanish in uni, and I realized that damn, these were things I learned in back in primo, back in kindergarten and stuff that I'm not struggling to understand, but in a different language, in a different culture. So once you've understood things like that, then you understand when you're learning maybe even French or Spanish conjugation, and when you're breaking down all these things,
Okay,
it
so
makes sense for them.
let me put it to you.
It's a good thing for you to understand earlier on. Okay, this is how this goes.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing the whole the doctrine of, for lack of a better word, of how conjugation and everything will come to be about, right? But I'll use an example. Like, say for instance, when I go to Tanzania or I'm in Coast and I'm listening to a particular person who's born and raised in Coast and how good their English and diction and how they're able to articulate themselves as compared to me.
English or Swahili?
In English.
Okay.
You understand? And they're able to do it so naturally. Like these guys are natural orators based upon them having been born in an area where Swahili is predominantly spoken. You get? And some of them don't even have to go towards that whole Ngeli or what, but they speak better. So you see, for me, I'm with Hafare. It's a bit
You've moved the
too
goalpost,
complex.
but it's okay.
No. It's a bit too complex because you're not telling me, did your Swahili, how you spoke it, change so significantly based upon the Swahili classes that you did in high school?
Yeah, nigga.
it kind of helps because
Yeah.
the whole essence you're learning Swahili Sanifu was because for you to have conversations in the right way.
Yes.
You get? Because there are people from Coast who they speak Swahili, but even in school, like aqua fiti sana in Swahili.
True.
You get? They are not really good in Swahili. So it was very important for them to like
I
learn
once
Swahili
posted a
Sanifu.
meme on my IG stories that someone was saying, I knew it for 4 years as a scam when niggas from Coast were feeling Swahili.
Yeah.
It's a thing, bro. Spoken yes in as a
because I think the way we're looking at it is like what we learned in school wasn't like spoken word, like how we speak. It was more the building blocks of the language. We took lafudhi, venye umesema mangeli, lafudhi, so many things. What builds the language, like
This nigga.
No, like those are parts of, isn't if you look at na fundisha from 4, like you would learn vitu kaizo. These are the building blocks of what makes the language. As language evolves, and it spreads, and then people start speaking it differently. People in Western and people in Nini Coast, they speak a different form of Swahili, even though it's the same vocabulary. But what we learned was the building blocks of the language, not how to speak it.
Who speaks better Swahili? Is it guys from Western or guys from Coast?
Unasema Fadhili. Alafu this accent
that may refer to a woman who is abundant. I like that one.
No.
I like that one.
No, the AI is wrong. See, fuck this shit. This shit is wrong.
That is wrong, man.
Lafudhi means accent.
Sure. No, I am with you.
Yeah, so like that's why when you go to like TZ to Tanga, you go to like place ka Morogoro or like the other side of TZ karibu na DRC, they speak a different accent of Swahili. Same thing with Congolese guys. Yeah. Their Swahili is different from ours because of like cultural factors. That's Lafudhi anyway. But back to my point, what we learned in Swa in Form 4 was just the building blocks of the language. What makes Swahili? Not just the ability to speak it, but the ability to understand that the language came from A, B, C, D. When we say umesema ongelia kivi, angelia what, this is why we say it. This is where it came from. All of that. That's why knowing to speak, we can, all of us can communicate in Swahili. Tukipatiwa nini form 4 pepatiwa hapa tunaanguka.
All of us. But true.
It's hard.
It's hard.
No. Some of these things, like if you even go to like basic math that you did in fast form right now, would be a tough one.
Yoni sawa, but let me join your camp on this technicality. The only issue I'd raise is, what was the purpose of us doing all that Swahili learning? Like, it has to be like this and like this and like this and like this. And the only place it's probably applied is if you are in a profession that requires you to speak the language like that or write it like that. Or, I don't know, any other reason. But for us, bro, there's no one who is holding you accountable for the broken Swahili that you speak out in the streets. No one is coming with a marking scheme. There's no teacher who is, hey, hapo umekosea, hapo umeanguka. No. So the only technicality that I'd bring up is, for what purpose? So I'd say, when you're selecting subjects back in high school, only if you know that maybe I'm going to get into a career that will require me to know Swahili to this level, then yes, I'm going to pursue. Because otherwise, inanisaidia nini? Nikienda mtani, I'm speaking broken Swahili, it's mixed,
everybody's
left, right, and center.
I'm not mad at it. Me, I'll be like, you know what? The more you know, the better. Just be more informed. You might end up being like an American. Fucking dumbass.
Oh my God.
Let's pull a more wrong.
Speaking about America, did you guys actually watch the inauguration?
Yeah.
You did?
I did.
I did, man.
I did.
Of course you did, Carl.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
of course
you did.
Like, I was so
Calvin is a
interested.
red hat, isn't you?
MAGA.
Yeah, you're a red hat.
No.
I feel like Calvin is bound in Kenya. Like, if he just moved to the States, like, oops, but that boy is gone.
He'd never come back.
Nah, that boy
Calvin in the States would be acting like a Nigerian, American.
Soon come. Well, but here's the thing. I watched it because I really, like, I was interested in, I watch a lot of news. It's one of my favorite things to watch, right? Yeah. So I watched from, them having tea together to then proceeding to whatever, to the rotunda, which, funny enough, is where the insurrection happened. You get? But so white was put inside was because of the weather. It was too cold, right? Yeah. So they did that. But what was crazy is just looking at all of the presidents walking, Congress, all the former presidents, and then all the guys from the big tech companies, Elon Musk and all of these guys. And
Elon Musk was, I saw a few clips. That man was high off his mind.
Elon was the way he was just like, the way he looked,
that was white boy joy.
That was a K-hole. That's like poor people drugs. Like, you're a billionaire. Why are you doing ketamine?
Well,
those are poor people drugs.
I don't know about that. That's to be verified, but he did look kind of strange.
I'm verifying it.
Yeah, you're verifying. You smoked with him?
No, but that's a K-hole. If you've done ketamine, you know what a K-hole. A K-hole is when you do too much ketamine, now it just fucks with you. You start to like hallucinate.
So this is not allegedly.
No, it's not allegedly. That's a
Walai,
K-hole.
you're
Anybody,
standing on this shit.
yo, bro.
No, of course it has to be alleged.
people-
bro.
Has to be
Yeah.
allegedly because you don't know for
so,
sure.
but here's the thing: there's been there have been multiple people who have come forward and said, "Man, this dude is addicted to ketamine," and then you see him at the inauguration with his eye, like his head twisting, his eyes rolling, his jaw clenched. That's the signs of somebody who's in a K-hole.
Yeah, especially the jaws.
Yeah, just because he cannot, and then like the fact that it's not like when you're doing Molly and your eyes are dilated or anything. He's really struggling to control his nervous system. That's why he keeps moving. That's ketamine, and it's a poor people. Like you are rich, you can buy the whitest white in the world. You're the richest man on earth. Why are you doing drugs that they give to
Is this
horses?
like-
Why do you cheat on a 10 out of 10 with a 6 out of 10, bro? Why?
That analogy doesn't work.
What do you mean?
That analogy doesn't work. Yeah.
What do you mean it doesn't work?
My brother, when you
I mean, by your theory, it's in the pudding.
Yeah.
No? Is it the guy who has all the money in the
try
world?
drugs and then you'll understand this.
Kids, don't try drugs.
Oh yeah, but then please
Don't do drugs,
Don't do
kids.
drugs. Don't do drugs. Everything
here's-
I'm saying is a joke, by the way.
So, but the
For
most
legal purposes, everything is a
But the
joke.
most interesting bit of all of it was, I think we've notably noticed at the last two outings where the presidents have all been together, at the burial and then at the inauguration, Michelle
Man,
is not around.
yeah. Obama walked in alone, man.
Yeah, Obama walked in solo and whispered something at
Trump?
At no, not at Trump, at Bush.
Yeah.
Guys were like, yeah, she's not coming. Yeah, that kind of thing. But what caught my
Was it
attention
good
was
bush or bad bush?
good Bush.
Good bush, good bush.
Good Bush. I see what you did there. But what caught my attention was when most of the people.
Has there ever been a bad bush? Oh,
Check the T-shirt.
okay.
Yeah.
No, that's dumb bush. That's not bad bush.
I mean,
But what was interesting was a 17-minute speech that Trump delivered after his inauguration. As in the way the camera had been set, and you could see Biden and Kamala. Kamala had just crossed her legs like this. She was just like. Trump, Biden at some point is even looking down. He's just like, because he tore at so many things. And normally when you see like a guy's been elected, your first speech has to like articulate like a lot of things. In true Trump fashion, it sounded like it was a speech off the top of his head.
Yeah, it didn't have
We are
anything.
going to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. We will win. We will win like no one has ever won before. That man's a moron. It makes me so happy.
Let me tell you this. Okay, a lot of people could call him a moron and what have you, right? And everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But Trump in America right now, there's a couple of things that a lot of people are scoring wins for him. Okay, number one, the ceasefire. We spoke about this last weekend, right?
Yeah.
Bro, guys have been talking about this thing. The same damn deal was on the table for 13 whole months. And the Democrats were not able to deliver it. This guy announces TikTok, 170 million guys in the US. Like all of that. Those are some of the significant wins this week. Now there's this whole story to do with 90 days of, freezing of foreign aid to countries, right?
Yeah.
And especially Africa. Now, I think that's not a good thing. But on the flip side as well, I feel like when I look at like what Burkina Faso have been doing, with what the president, the army guy has done.
Traore.
Traore, right? He's been able to like give them a sense of, hey, we can depend on our own.
Yeah.
I feel like Africa kind of needs that it needs to react in that way, because we can't just be depending on that. Like, think about it. Trump has just pulled out of the World Health Organization.
yeah.
US gives 18% of the global of the
Funding.
funding. Bro, that's a significant amount.
Yeah.
So we really need to start depending on ourselves, because imagine if COVID were to happen again and World Health Organization doesn't have 18%.
I think, okay, my thoughts on this. When you say Mayo withdraw from World Health Organization and like the whole freezing funding international, there are two things that are going to happen here. Two very specific things. Number one, it's going to go the China route when they banned Huawei. Sindio, the Chinese went and innovated. They're doing amazing things in China in terms of tech. their EV, like the same way Nani.
The EV industry is big.
The EV industry he's rolled back the subsidies for EV cars in America, but in China, the EV cars are so far ahead of what Tesla is making that they've put 100% tariffs. You can't buy a BYD in US. The CEO of Ford in US drives a BYD. And he says it's the most amazing car he's ever been in. The Chinese, they were sanctioned, Huawei was sanctioned, and they said, oh, okay, you're going to sanction us. Fine, we're not going to do business with you guys, but you're going to innovate on our own side. When you mesema, they pulled out of World Health Organization, somebody's going to make up the deficit. And they're going to start researching their own way without American interference, without American involvement. The flip side is, for people like us in Kenya, a lot of our aid goes into
education,
health education, like social services, UBS, Universal Basic Services. What's going to happen is we're going to get taxed higher under the pretext of there's no more foreign aid coming in, but all the services we get are going to deteriorate because our government is made of, and I would like to say this again, morons. The people who run our country. Sisi tu, I don't know who cast us, by the way. Kama undu tulani ukakufa, please come back to life. We are run by very silly, very mature, very
cosmic irony. It's like we put ourselves there and we complain.
Very selfish people. At the end of the day, with no funding coming in, then there's the risk of job losses for donor-funded programs. There's so many risks involved in stuff in terms of the Kenyan economy and the Kenyan people, but you don't expect the Kenyan leadership to do the right thing. One of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to go down the China route where you become completely self-sufficient, or you go down what is going to happen in most African countries where you decide to tax everyone more and do nothing under the pretext of now we have to pay for ourselves.
Yeah, but okay.
So I wanted to talk about when they cut the funding, the foreign aid funding. So from a Turkana perspective, there are so many NGOs in Turkana, in the Kakuma refugee camp. So we cannot be self-sufficient because the health sector in Turkana is run by NGOs in Turkana.
Yes.
So even the county government, our county government gets the second highest allocation.
Yeah.
And we can't be self-sufficient because IRC, Save the Children, UNICEF, Red Cross, all those guys are supporting the county towards the health sector. So I think if Trump cuts the foreign aid, then we will be very affected. And then unemployment as well.
But here's the thing. So he said 90 days, right? 90 days in which they're going to be reviewing a lot of this, right? And I was even speaking to my mom, who's in, my uncle rather, who's in the NGO sector, and he was like, yep, these are some of the things we knew were probably going to happen. But what I'm saying is this, right? It has to get to a point, because we understand it goes a long way. Yeah. But what if we're not getting that aid back? We have to adjust, right? And the way we have to adjust is actually now demand it from our leaders and just tell them, yo, listen, guys, skiza, this is not, now is not the time. You have to.
With all these tax that we're already paying.
I think because it's not even about the tax, right? Bro, there's enough. Like, man, here we go.
I think as a country, we also need to have our point of... Somebody said, I think Africans, we stand corruption a lot. Because we've never, ever had, like, a need for the government to do something important for us. We don't have natural disasters. We don't have typhoons. We don't have earthquakes. We've never really needed the government to come in and do something for us.
Yes.
But Kenya, by the way, it has to get way worse before it gets better. It has to get to the point where every single person in this country feels the effect of bad governance. Not just a few people who are going to protest in the street, kwenda kusema ati tunaenda finance bill, blah, blah, blah. It has to get to a point where even it moves beyond social class, it moves beyond tribalism. It has to get to a point where every single person feels like it doesn't matter who I am, it doesn't matter what strata of society I am in. Bad governance is hurting all of us. That's the point we have to get to. So things have to get worse before they get better.
I think, do you think it's the natural progression of things? Like, it's like when someone is in a toxic relationship, and I use this example all the time, no matter how many times you tell them that they need to leave, they'll never leave until things get really, really, really bad for them. Then they go like, oh, fuck, yeah, I need to be out. So do you think, like...
I guess.
We just embrace that this is what go on?
Shit has to... Because Palitugo, things are bad right now, and guys are okay. Things are really bad right now, and guys are okay. things have to get way worse.
Yeah.
And even our parents who are at home, when I was going to protest last year, like my father was like, usiende, utauliwa. Like wanaua watu. And I was there on the 18th, the first day. 20, I think I met tulipatana huko kwa streets siku ya kwanza. I was there on the 21st, I was there on the 25th. There are people who are so afraid of like speaking out and like saying we need better governance. It has to get to a point where even those people are like ready to streets sisi wote. A million people in Kenyatta Avenue. That's when people are gonna see like change is coming.
But I like what you've said, especially from that Turkana perspective. I don't think people understand how many refugees there are. I mean, it's a thing that we see and hear about the Kakuma refugee camp. I think it's the size. Is it second largest or something?
It's the largest refugee camp in
the world, I think. Is there a bigger one?
In Africa, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, because
in
it's
Africa.
It's got a.
I don't think Dadaab is bigger than Kakuma.
It's either one of the two. I know one of the two.
I think Kakuma is bigger than Dadaab.
Yeah,
if I'm not wrong.
It's one of the two is the biggest. I know.
Bro, if they cut that funding, Turkana will come to its knees. Especially.
Is Kenya
one of the world's largest?
Like, Kakuma is number one.
It's number
inside
one.
The world's 10 largest refugee camps. Number one, Kakuma.
Yeah.
On the side up or true.
Yeah, so I mean, you see, it's huge, right?
Yeah, it's very huge.
So you're saying Turkana is going to come to
it's going to come to its knees because most of the funding that we get is through partnerships with NGOs. So if they cut the funding that is going to the NGOs, the county government will not run the health sector because those NGOs are the ones that are supplying a lot of things to these dispensaries, especially in the interior parts. So it's not going to be.
And by the way, Kakuma, it's really, really far. If you've worked with any groups in the slums of Nairobi, if you've been to Kibra, if you've been, and even Pipeline is a slum, by the way. Slum si lazima ikuwe mabati. Pipeline is a slum kabisa, and like Kangemi, Ungwaro, all these places. You realize that a lot of the basic social services that people depend on are not run by the government. Water is run by an organization, an NGO. Health is run by an NGO.
Shofco and all of that.
Yeah, all of that is run by people who are donor funded. When that donor funding is cut, when you say Kakuma, for somebody who lives in Nairobi now, they're seeing it as such a far away problem. This won't affect me. Nah, Mukuru Kwanjenga. You live in South B, Mukuru si hapo nyuma.
Yeah.
Everything gets cut in Mukuru. Next thing unacheki tu kwa nyumba yako tu. Kwa mlango yako tu na mapanga.
Because like yesterday,
you guys have to eat.
When yesterday I was watching the news, they were talking about like a lot of the HIV and AIDS medication. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, like not just in Kenya, but also like just on the continent, right? So here's the thing. I mean, let's not all be, gloom and doom, right? They've said 90 days to review and because it's all to do with like government spending and everything. But guys out in the States who work for government who've been told, you have to go back to work.
Yeah.
No more work from home. Jeez.
You know what the problem with RTOs in Angamoja? When you and this is something I've noticed especially in the tech industry, when you mandate an RTO, the first person you lose is your most qualified person. When you if the most qualified person in your office who enjoys working remotely.
You're going to tell people what RTOs are, man.
A return to office.
Yeah,
that's it. Like it's a return to office mandate. If you've been working remotely, mnatumia tu email, HR amesema blah 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 due to economic whatever and team performance, everybody needs to come back. Everybody comes back. But the most qualified person, like the lead developer, the lead project manager, they get online, they go on LinkedIn, and then a recruiter tells them, by the way, we're going to offer you like 20K more and a remote role. Them, they just dip.
You'll be right.
Them, they just dip. Then you realize, I've seen this in a company I worked for. You start mandating return to office policies. Kidogo, lead wa kitu, lead design, shop. Ameshatoka. Now that you have to bring in another person and train them for 6 months to cover their. It's so silly.
Andy, have you ever worked from home?
We have worked from home a couple of times, Calvin. That one and the other one. Yeah. Tumefanya kazi nyumbani, kazi kwa vijana.
Was a bit different.
Oh yeah. Very, very different. But manze ilikuwa balance of some sort, cause now us guys like services yenye tulikuwa tuna provide, we were essential services, so there wasn't much of a difference. Us guys were still showing up to the office. Yeah, but ile ingine si unatambua.
Funny enough, I was speaking about like 2020. Yesterday I was speaking about 2020 and someone asked me, media, radio presenters, you guys were essential services. And I felt very offended.
Why?
I was like, wow, like, it was doctors, nurses, everybody was
Why
like...
were lawyers essential services, by the way?
Lawyers were essential services.
Yeah, they had a pass from Media
LSK. Council.
Yeah, no, from LSK.
Law Society.
Yeah, lawyers were essential.
Oh man.
I mean, being guys who are dealing with the law, lazima mjitafutie ka excuse ka move around Kenya around your time.
Lawyers really be
like if your boss finds an excuse for you guys to be essential service providers, fam, why not hook the people up, bro?
Unaenda nini?
Where your hoes at?
What hoes? What bro?
They were essential service workers, right?
Oh shit! That your business, Mamangi. Your business, Mamangi. Come rain or shine, even in the apocalypse, somebody's gonna be on a corner selling. Your business, Mamangi. It started with cavemen.
Yeah.
It's gonna end with aliens.
Wow.
How do you think it started?
The same way fire was discovered. Discover, oh my god, my coach can get me a roof.
Oh wow. Fire coach. No.
Exactly.
But yo, listen, I saw this article, and I sent it to the group, and I really thought about that, the topic, right? It said when women get into a new relationship, they lose 2 of their friends. Andy, do you agree?
I agree. And not only that, bro, I think it's so dire such that even when you post anything, even on your, say, Insta stories, this is probably even your friend. But if it could look a certain type of way, you're probably going to lose followers. Kelly complains about this every time. When maybe Nev posts her up on something, when Nev makes a TikTok or a meme and she's there, or when she reposts something that maybe I was on or another male friend, she'll come back complaining to us later on, oh, I posted this one, I lost 100 followers. I'm like, come on. So I thought it was for jokes at the beginning because, maybe she's being dramatic and, it's conversation so you can kiki. But then later on, she complained about it again and I was like, okay, maybe it's probably a thing. So niggas be jealous out here, man. Yeah.
But friends, lady.
Oh, ladies too?
Yeah. No. Like
Did it
look
specify?
At it.
Did it specify?
No. It was more towards ladies, right? It didn't specify, right? But it said when a lady gets into a new relationship, right? She loses like 2 of her close.
Yeah, they wanted the nigga, but you got the nigga, so.
Yes, bro.
That's my theory.
I think it can be true, in a sense that you've gotten a new person that you're going to hang out with most times.
Yeah.
So now they feel like you're not going to spend time with us a lot. So that is why maybe.
Or you're always hanging out with your man.
Yeah.
Now you ain't got no time for us.
Yeah.
Type shit.
So they're jealous.
They're jealous.
I wouldn't know this really.
Especially if they're single. Especially if they're single.
I've never been a woman. How the fuck would I know this?
You don't need to be a woman to know. But you're resourceful.
But here's the thing. But from what friends have told me, and I've seen online discussions, there's this tendency for some women, I'm not going to say all women, but some women
who started with that.
Yeah.
No, you really had to say I've never been a woman.
How the fuck would I know exactly?
Because the way you're about to tell us how you know now.
I know, right?
Listen,
you're about to cook right now,
You're
bro.
about to cook.
It says women lose 2 friends when they get into a relationship. I've never been a woman, so I wouldn't know.
No, but you see,
So how you about to cook right now?
From that perspective.
And then the next thing I'm saying,
How you about to cook right now if you don't know?
But you also have female friends.
Are you trying to address allegations of you've had a sex change or what?
if I did have it and you would know. But the sex change I'm on OnlyFans, brother. This should go like that. Anyway, let me go back to my point. Basically, some of the women have told me like they see their friends center the man in the relationship to a point where you haul at your friend to go hang out. They're like, I have to ask my man, I'm being with my man. And then the funny thing is, this babe told me like at the end of it, 2-3 years down the line, this person hollers at you like, oh, can we meet up? I miss our friendship. And then you ask them like, oh, what happened to your man? Aliniwacha.
Inakuanga hivyo manzi.
People say, like men say, don't cut off your hose, but in general, don't cut off your friends.
Was it men or was it generally?
No,
I think this was a general statement.
Don't cut off your hose, but more importantly, never cut off your friends. The love that is in friendship is way more pure than a love you'll ever get in a relationship.
So
No
hot,
expectations.
Nah, like
He
for
does,
real.
he
no,
does.
No, it's for real. Like if you've actually had friends in your life, not people you drink with, or like mnatumiana memes, but if you've actually had true friendship in your life.
Or if you've lost true
Come
friends.
on, man.
I know that. By the way, there are people who assume parasocial relationships are friendships. But if you've had,
unatumia majina leo kweli
parasocial.
parasocial bwana.
niko na akili by the way.
Aish.
Okay.
The drop, man.
This is how you get them out in the streets.
No,
manze.
actually no.
Did you hear
I
me
just
say
don't know hoes.
parasocial?
I just don't know hoes. I know many things.
You
This
don't
is a
know.
very different Hafare that's come up for this podcast, manze.
But
Damn.
it's been a year. It would have been weird if I didn't change.
What is
true.
parasocial?
Yeah, no, yo. So yeah.
One-sided relationship.
One-sided
like-
relationships.
Wrong context.
No, but in this context it makes sense because
It does,
you
it
see
does.
the way you meet somebody on IG and you become friends and then you start streaking, sindio? It's not, you're not friends hivi. You're just like you have a the same way paramilitary ni kando ya military, it's a parasocial. It's like you know each other, you interact, but you don't really have
You're
a
like my
relationship.
side friend.
Yeah, you're like my side friend. We don't
Damn.
really have a relationship.
These
So you can
levels-
call them side social.
Maybe. But anyway, as I was saying, the love you find in friendship and all of that shit, you know, people who are actually there for you is way more important than the love you find in a relationship. It's okay to go find a partner and somebody you live with, ndio. But if you have friends, watakuzika by the way. Huyu bwana wako anaweza kuacha after 10 years, juu alipata secretary wake ameiva. Just saying. But the friends you keep, maybe I'm a big fan of friendship. Go make true friends by the way.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and
You can eat them too, you know, if they're, edible.
You eat your fruits and your friends.
I'm trying to
And
make
your
a point
fruits
here. Niggas have to take it.
We're on the same team, Hafare. Yeah, we're on the same
just,
team.
okay,
This is
find
tough.
real friends, my guys. Find real fucking friends.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to go back to the Trump thing because I want to talk about something. Did you see Trump rug pulled his own funds?
Who?
Rug pulling is a crypto term where you pump something up and then people pump a coin up, people buy it, and then you dump it immediately.
Oh yes, yes.
So
yes.
that their money becomes your exit liquidity. You live with their money and then they're left holding something that's worthless. You see Trump launch his own coin.
Yeah, he did,
It went to I think 32 billion market cap.
bro.
And then
This
shut
was
down.
Sunday or something,
Yeah,
right?
it went
Sunday,
to
Saturday.
in 12 hours it went to 32 billion market cap. And this is the best part. That thing didn't exist before. This is why I don't understand crypto. It's not a thing you can hold. It's just a thing that somebody created, a line of code.
Yeah.
And then, just because it was associated with him, it gained value immediately to 32 billion. And then he launched his wife's own meme coin,
I saw.
which a lot of people have lost money on. We are entering the golden age of scamming.
It's crazy.
We are
Because I saw that, I'll tell you this, right? For me, crypto, I've tried to understand it for a hot minute. And I'm just at times I just hit the brakes and I'm just oh, okay, this is a bit too much, right? And they just had a convention this past weekend where Nelly performed at Donald Trump's thing. Soulja Boy, Rick Ross, Snoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they performed. This whole thing is becoming a whole thing. And everybody was Trump's association and what he's saying he's gonna
he's driving the value
review
up.
The
Yeah.
value. Also, you've been seeing what Elon's been doing all over, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do." I'm just I don't know this, but I could spend a bit of time and understand it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the roast of Tom Brady when this babe tells him you lost 30 million on crypto, and I could have told you that isn't real money.
Yeah.
The whole at a size, if you are an enterprising maybe Kenyan who likes to live on the edge of legality, get a Truth Social account. Trump's
Trump's
Social.
sites, get a Truth Social account, create a catfish account, scam white men. We're in the golden age of scamming. The FBI, no, if you really follow American politics, guys, the FBI are being literally taken away from doing online work. Great, they're being told go solve cases on the ground. They're shutting offices that prevent fraud. This is the gold. If you are a scammer right now, America is ripe for the picking.
But
Hush Puppy 2.0. This is the golden age of scamming.
That story is interesting, right? But I remember sometime towards, I think, November, October. And I remember guys on Twitter saying that, hey, all of these guys who are...
Carding.
Sijui carding. guys were being told, hey boss, ata.
Si Interpol iliwakujia wote.
Guys were you're up in Umo in your house. Hello, because guys were picked up. Like guys just disappeared. Because my thing is this, right? I don't understand it. Like I look at it on the internet. And this guy he says he's in crypto. The guy is already spinning a GLS. I'm like, hey, kwani pesa bwana? Kwani we don't have brains like this?
It's coming.
It's coming. It's somebody's. It's the same thing. Pump and dump. Just tell them, okay, you buy. There's this thing that's going up. Invest in this coin.
Yeah.
And then when enough people, it's your coin. Enough people give you money because you are holding all of the majority. You sell it off at once. Drops down in value. You get all their money, exit liquidity. You've hit $2 million, Evo. And there's a guy who made $19 million in 1 hour on that Trump coin.
God damn.
And then, immediately after, he launched a fake TikTok coin. Actually, we brought TikTok back, buy the official TikTok coin, scammed other Trump fans. We are in the if you are somebody who is of loose morals, you're going to be very rich in the next 4 years. And I've said loose morals, not me.
That's a bit too much, but it's too much. But let's bring it back to the 254, man.
For sure.
The internet's about to be shut down.
Is it?
Yeah.
We've been warned.
Regulation.
By Kabogo.
By the man. But let me tell you, shout going out to man like Kabogo. Kabogo's had a very interesting first week in office. So he took over his office when was it Sunday or something, and his first address was he and the foreign the prime cabinet secretary Mudavadi, right? And Mudavadi was speaking about just how as a foreign affairs what do you call it, ministry. They've really had a hard time, especially with what happened where the letters were being sent to
the
Dutch, right?
Yeah.
And they're being told, you guys don't even bother coming here. So he's like, and it's at a point. And then my guy Kabogo was like, even pornography, we're going to shut it down. Now, let me ask.
What?
Hapo wamekuja sana.
He was like,
You know,
he was like, we're going to stop that. We're also going to stop pornography. All of these guys, you guys are terrorizing the government. Just hold it.
These are the priorities.
Bruh, guys were like, really? And he did all of that with his, with his hairstyle. Guys have really done transplants on him this week. But there's one he's been valued Melania's kofia during the inauguration. There's one where he's been given like a whole afro. Like guys are doing wonders. And now he already has a nickname. Lil Nyati.
I love the age of the internet, bro. Like if you're an old head, there's no you can survive. And I love that these oldies wanakapitia sana manze. You know, like the game you are playing, you're playing it at a different level where the others are not playing. Anyone has a different level, manze. Inabidi wafike huko and you can't get there by virtue of the fact that you're so stuck on, you can't teach an old monkey, new roots in the forest, so new tricks and that. So it's very interesting and entertaining to watch them struggle. It's the same thing when the Gen Z thing started becoming a real thing. That's when bosses were coming out and saying, I thought I was the only one struggling with Gen Z employees. Kumbe, all my other friends who have employees who are Gen Zs are going through the same thing. But it's that change of guard kind of thing, like out with the old, in with the new. So I feel like these are the last kicks of a dying horse, bro.
For sure. There's
just
a book
enjoy
I'm reading right now called #New Power. It's a very interesting book. You can mirror it to what's happening in Kenya right now. There's old power. This is Kinakabogo, where we give orders and you do what we say. And rules come down from like the top. Mtu moja anaongea, nyinyi wengine wote mnafanya. And then there's new power. What's happening with like Kenyans online, where there is no true leader most times. Everything is decentralized. Everything comes from communities. The same way memes come from, you can't pinpoint that a meme came from this person or from that person or where a phrase came from. Even the phrase Ruto must go is a manifestation of what they call new power. Because if you are to ask every single person who says Ruto must go, what their motivation is, everyone has a different reason.
Is that the book by Thingy? Henry Timms?
Yes. So everybody has a different reason why Ruto must go. Ruto must go is just a term that came up to like to cover every single person's frustrations. So for these guys to declare they're gonna turn off they're not gonna do shit. Hao wamezoea tu hao wamezoea kusema vitu na vitu zifanyike. But then now they're dealing with a group of people who mnasema vitu na wanaambia by them tadu. And you can't find where the resistance is coming from. There is no leader. You can go arrest Boniface Mwangi leo. Kesho those memes will pop up from somewhere else. You go and arrest Billy, arrest Kibet Bull. Things will just keep popping up, and the government is last kicks of a dying horse. Either they adapt or they die.
You know, it's interesting, right? That especially a docket like that can be given to a man of that age. You understand?
Yeah.
This is a guy he's 60, probably 3 or something. And I mean, I'm not trying to say you can't be with it at that age, right? But looking at where you're coming from and the, positions you've held and everything, that docket especially, it's a very new age kind of docket.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, we know the politics being played over here. It's a politics of like, let's put this person in this docket so that this region is okay.
Yeah.
And what and
Regional balance.
Regional balance, eh?
Yeah.
It's like the mafia, we put tunaweka mtu mmoja hapa and then they go tell their people like here's a bit of money and then kwa villages mtulize watu.
Yeah.
And then that money trickles down, wewe enda waambie watu wako tuko sawa na Ruto. And that's how it works. But anyway,
That's how it happens.
But we're going to have a long 2 years, man. To the election.
Usi manifest manze, usiseme hivyo.
No. Like,
take it back.
I'm not really saying that. It's already. Here's the thing, right? So Kenya is forever in a political. We're always pushing for a general election. So general elections are coming round in 2027.
Yeah.
That's going to be August, right?
August, yeah.
So by the mid of this year, when we get to August, it's already going to be 2 years direct, right?
Yeah.
So we know by like sometime next year,
Campaigns.
August, campaigns will be on high ground, right?
Yeah.
Guys will be out and about. So essentially, development has to occur between now and next
campaign
year.
season.
Do you think that is possible?
That's the thing.
not.
like
These guys are such procrastinators, bro. The best example inakuanga tu hapo nje ya Lion Place manze, hiyo Lake Karuna, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's always fixed just before elections. Like mta struggle for 5 years, blah. But just before, and then they'll make it in such a way that it's only good for the campaign season.
Yeah.
The moment the campaign season is done and life goes back to normal, the lake is back, bro.
I may not have a degree in patching roads, but I can tell you for sure.
I think you
Lake
do.
Karuna, the problem with that place is the drainage. Like the water table
You're an
and
expert.
what?
You know these
You
things.
get what I mean? Like I know about different holes in Nairobi, and that hole is a bit too wet.
I thought so.
Brother in Christ, and tunapenda hose.
Yo, before we digress kabisa, before we wrap it up, back to your question on ulikuwa unauliza, how is it that women lose at least 2 friends when they get into a relationship? Why do we think it's different for us guys? Like I've never had a guy say, damn, I lost followers the moment I, publicly launched, Shodi, or when I came out, boom, boom, boom. Because women lose followers at that particular, when it's clear, when you've declared and all this, boom.
Akisha, have you ever seen every chick on Instagram when she gets proposed to? Manze, every picture is just like,
yeah, you gotta show off the rock, boy.
Like
you gotta show off the rock.
She could even be like painting. And then I
have an answer to that. I have an answer to your question. It's because, and this in society, men aren't taught that getting married or getting a partner is like this big. It's an important life, Nini.
It's not an achievement.
It's an important life step, but it's not like the be all and end all. Do you know how many women are told that ukifanya hivyo utapata bwana? Ukifanya hivyo utapata bwana? It's the goal for them. And then when you get married, you are told now usikuwe na mademo ndanga au usiku bwana yako atakuacha. Usikuwe na sijui nini. The women, your friends are jealous of you. They want to steal your husband. These women are guiding you away from your husband.
Sasa zingine na kuanga ukweli lakini.
Yeah, no, ni sawa. But already there's like this voice in their head that tells them.
Yeah.
Like it's been ingrained in them that once you get to this point, now you need to focus solely on the man you're married to.
You're on high alert now.
Yeah, like sasa, your focus is completely on him because he might leave. It's like this is a prize you have to take care of. Yeah. But on the other end,
I mean,
men aren't taught that.
It is.
Men aren't taught that getting married is an achievement. To them, it's just a step in life. So you don't cut off the people around you, because no man has ever been told, beshte yako atadinya bibi yako. No man is ever told that you keep your friends away from your wife because they're gonna.
No, but
men are not told. Not saying it doesn't happen. Men aren't told that. Women are told when you get married, keep your husband away from your friends. That's what they're told. Utagongewa. Your friends have. You don't know the intentions your friends have. Men are not told that. Men are told, umeoa tu. You can go drink with your buddies. Do A, B, C, D. So for men, marriage is just a thing you do. And most men get married because their friends got married.
Like you go MIA for a bit and you come back.
Yeah.
Guys, nilikuwa wedding, man.
In fact, your friends become a very big part of you getting married. They are there with you every step of the way. They are advising you. You do not. In fact, men get married and become even closer friends. Now we all hang out together. We all have wives. Our kids play together.
So we have visas.
Amen. You know?
Automatic.
Yeah. But then women get married and then they become islands. Your job is to take care of the home. Your job is to take care of your husband. Your job is to take care of your child. Marriage for men brings them closer to each other. Marriage for women takes them away from each other. And that's why it happens like that. Based on what I know.
Okay, no. I mean, you have a point.
Dr. Love.
No,
don't get too sensible.
You've always done so, bro.
But before we go, there's something I do want to talk about. And this, because you know me, I'm a big entertainment guy, music, all of that.
Yeah.
I had a friend come in. Wait, before we even continue, if you're watching this, I'm working with an amazing artist. She's here. She's called Savina. Amazing Kenyan pop artist. Next to Blow, by the way, Byron, venye nilikwambia, ni hapa hivi.
I'm overthinking, I'm only thinking about your face. I know you're taken, but does she know she can't replace the main attraction? The only girl with what you want, baby, what you want, I can put you on. I know it's crazy, I know I left you all alone. My mind is racing, I wanna get you in the zone. Yes, I'm your vixen, let's make it 3 and put a show. Take me skin to skin, baby.
Back from what you've been watching. Kenyan, I had a friend who just came back from abroad, and when they were there, they would tell me like, send me what's popping in Kenya, and then I sent it to them. I would send them like the new boy bands, Nini, and when they came to Nairobi in December, they were all like, why do all these artists sound the same? You guys feel that way? Do you feel like there's like everybody sounds like BN Light? Do you feel like that?
Like there's a sound, I'd say BN has created a sound that sonically sounds so good that other artists don't mind emulating or using this as a sort of blueprint, and then you make it your own and see what you come up with.
I'd say here's the thing.
And
you used a brilliant word, right? You use the word blueprint, right? After that, success. You get. You've seen so many different gigs. He's just did a Europe tour yesterday, last year rather. He's doing a US tour in a couple of weeks. You get what I mean? So you can see, and if you look right before him, who from the Kenyan group of artists who've come before have been able to get to that success. So look at it individually and also as a group. They've been able to do that. Before that, you had Eric Wainaina. Eric Wainaina did a good thing. Eric Wainaina, in that era, a lot of people tried to sing Nchi ya Kitu Kidogo and all of that. You can get. So Kenyans, we do towards what we've seen, which is not bad. It's
sponge culture.
Yeah, but also, why am I going to try and invent a whole new thing, yet this is what the market likes? And if I go to the market right now, like let's talk about Charisma. Dropped an album last year. Beautiful album, right? Shows the ladies are asking for it. When you think about Watenda Willie, the shows are packed. Costa, everybody's asking for it. So there's demand by the market.
I think with what I know, I think and there's a ceiling. I really want, and Bien is an amazing artist.
True.
Bien is an amazing artist. When he does his US tour, Antaka Akai LA for like 2 months. Like just go to LA, go meet new producers. No, like go meet new guys, go meet new producers, go meet new people, go meet new musical minds, and like evolve, and because there's a ceiling we are at. Do you know how many listeners? Okay, let me pull this up because this is very important for me. Do you guys know who TG Black is?
No, who's TG Black?
Do you know TG Black?
I know Charlie Black.
You know Charlie Black? Do you know TG Black?
No.
TG is an artist.
TG Black with like
TG or
BL.
TG.blk.
BLK.
That's her right there. Yeah,
Chuck
artist
the
to
A.
watch. Yeah.
Chuck the A.
TG.blk.
BLK.
TG has, okay, let me start with BN. The monthly number of monthly listeners on Spotify. Indio. BN has 702 as of today, as of recording. He has 702.2k.
Listens a month.
Listeners a month. For the last 30 days, that's the number of people who've listened to BN. TG Black has 758,000.1. TG Black is
Go
this.
on her Instagram. She only has 9.2k followers.
Yeah. TG is the second most listened to artist from Kenya on Spotify. Yeah. The only person doing more numbers than her is Sophia Nzao.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally the only person who's doing more numbers than TG on Spotify is Sophia. And the thing with TG does not, the way Kenyan music is doesn't refer to Kenyan music, but it refers to a sound squeezy.
Yeah.
It refers. Somebody said that Kenyan music, kama hujacheza Alchemist, usijiite ati Kenyan artist. And that's a bit classist, but anyway, TG doesn't sound Kenyan. Her music isn't venye umesema like BN Light. It doesn't sound like Charisma, like what I feel is happening with the industry is venye umesema, it's about money, it's capitalism. Go to any record label in Kenya, you'll find a bald man in a suit who will tell you, wait, unaandika nini? Whatever you're trying to do, don't do that. We want you to sound like this. Yes. If you're a babe, you're told you have to sound like Njerai.
Yeah.
And uimbia watu sioni. And that's not a knock on Njerai as an artist. I fuck with Njerai heavy. Sindio? That's not a knock on Njerai, but it comes down to we are putting profit of artistry.
Oh wow.
Unaona?
I actually invited her to come on the show last year. In June.
No, TG.
TG.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I like your sound. Wow.
She's really dope. Damn. But that's the thing. We have this in Kenya. The Kenyan music industry sees the studio as the world instead of the world as the studio. There are very few artists who are actually trying to expand beyond what your sound is. And the ones who are successfully doing it are the ones who are selling out gigs. Blinky Bill, I don't know if you guys went for his gig, any of you?
I did.
You were at the back, he was selling vinyl for what, 7K? And guys were buying.
Do you know how much he was buying his the rain jackets, right?
Yes.
Like 17 G's.
And people are buying. So he sold out of all match.
Yeah. Like literally that night gone.
Everything is gone.
Everything was gone.
And you're there. For me, it's like, as somebody who's involved in the industry, there's always been that thought in the back of my mind where it's sounding a bit homogenous. Everything sounds the same. It's starting to sound a bit of the same and the same. And I know where it's coming from. It's guys who have the money, the guys who run the labels, who are telling artists, oh, you want to do XYZ? Fuck you. We're the one putting money into your craft. You have to go sound like BN. Like, they would rather Mutoria make better than Mutoria make Masai Power track.
But you see, here's the thing, right? So that whole label conversation, a lot of people are not signed to labels as well over here. A lot of people are independent. You probably have a partner who distributes your...
yeah, for sure.
You get what I mean? So, I mean, globally, it's always been a conversation. And I think we've even spoken about it, myself and DNG, when reggaeton was coming on, or even dancehall, and you're an artist, you're told by the label, hey, this is a sound. Yeah. Go push it, right? Drill, couple years back, same on. I'm a piano right now. You get, and it's world over. It's going to keep happening. It always happens, especially with labels. But over here, I can attest to it and say it's because this is the winning formula.
Can I also play devil's
that's a very
advocate?
Good point. That's a very good point, actually.
Yeah.
Can I play devil's advocate as well? I think Kenyans also enjoy exhausting something. Like it's been part of our culture. Like tunataka tuenjoy nile design, tumeisqueeze yote. We'll milk it dry rather. Like hakuna point itafika tukwe like atukukulele bash vizuri, maybe kuna yenye tulikuwa tumeweka on the reserve. No, let us look back at that moment and go like we didn't reserve anything when it came to us enjoying maybe this particular sound. That's why when you're looking back at maybe the Kenyan music industry, you can look at it in blocks of genres and sounds. Like there's this block, maybe genge kunei time tulikuwa tunaenjoy a particular different sound. Right now the urban tone craze has gone completely insane, you know, and as at the same time guys are embracing the vernacular flow, the vernacular thing that these artists are trying. Yes, the ohanglers, even kuyo, you know, guys are resuscitating vernacular music, getting in touch with their roots, you know, their culture. So as they're doing that, they're using the sound that's currently the thing as the lens to reach to the masses, because this is what is edible right now. It's acceptable. Lini kikupatia na hii format, we're not gonna have a lot of back and forth. Yes, I'm gonna drop an album or an EP and maybe 65 to 70% neza decide, neza cheza aje. Maybe it's more of what I want to put out there versus what people wanna hear. Mimi ndo nitadetermine balance. Mimi na wase wangu NR, you know, all that. The guys who are working with me will decide on the percentages, but it's a bit of let's tap into what's hot right now, but at the same time I'm staying true to who I am. I'm letting myself be. So inategemea saa pia na artist. Kuna artist anataka kufanya maneno yake vile anataka kufanya. Sure. Na kuna mwingine ako okay. Kwanza ndio alikuwa nangojea, ndio ilikuwa tiketi yake. Like this is the moment when they feel like, oh, creatively I can look in with this one and do something. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying an artist shouldn't get paid, but I honestly believe what Kenyan music needs. Kenyan music needs a Maverick. Kenyan music, and this might sound, you know, a bit weird, but I honestly believe Tyler is the most important artist ever in the history of African music. Because Tyler has proven that you don't have to have an African sound to be a successful African artist. And if you go back, you know, she started with Nani, Kina Cool Drink. When she was doing a mapiano. Yeah. But she's morphed to the point where Tyler doesn't get, when the Grammys come around, Tyler isn't going to be nominated under African. That's the one thing. Tyler is not going to be nominated. He's going to be nominated under pop.
But that's the point. We spoke about this last year, right? And I think a lot of people, especially for the people out there who don't understand the business of music, right? We just can't let it go over their heads, right?
Yeah.
So when you're nominating yourself, when say your label says, let's nominate this album, let's nominate this song for the Grammys, right? You put it in yourself.
Submission.
Yeah.
You submit it. Submission is a word, right?
Yeah.
And the people who are behind Tyler, very instrumental with her growth. You get very calculated. And when you even put that submission for your Grammy, for you to be Grammy nominated, right? You got to remember that there's people who actually go behind the scenes and now start to market you to the Grammy committees and lobbying, essentially. So it's not one of those things which is just straight up, oh, you sound white, what? You see, for her, she's very palatable to all of those guys who are really like, oh, she's from Africa, she's light-skinned, she sings like this, what? Like when you compare the conversation that we had, Tyler against Davido and Musa Keys. Everybody was like, bro, it's coming home. Which song had bigger impact? Like, think about it. And we mentioned it here on the podcast. Yeah. You could be in Nebraska. You will play Tyler.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
And that's my point. That's literally my point. I'm saying, what happens? Tyler opened a door where even with, you don't have to be, when you're here at home and you're looking at what's popping and you have to do that to get paid. Tyler is proof that you don't have to sound a specific way to become successful, even if you are from here. True. The same way, Essence, 2020, Essence was like the first true song from Africa that, you know, the London market is different from the US market, I know. So when Essence blew up in the US, that's when guys were like, oh, so a song from Africa can actually go number one, become song of the summer in the US. That opens the door a little bit. Tyler being this big superstar opens the door completely. Now if you're in Kenya and you're doing pop, a label from anywhere can come and say, you know what, even somebody in Kenya can start doing their own pop stuff up IV and could be the next Sabrina Carpenter. You already put that idea in, like, the next pop star could be from Kenya, and they look at Tyler and say, hey, if Tyler could do it, what's stopping me? You always need that ule mtu wa kwanza tu football always needed that first black player. Unajua? Everyone needs somebody to open the door for them and to show them, like, to show the greater world, like, this is the potential that we have here.
Yeah, and
I think
honestly,
Tyler represents that.
And honestly, I can tell you this.
She's our
right?
Martin Luther King.
I'll tell you this, right? I can easily see it based upon just being in Accra the other day, right? And I could see, and also before we even get to Accra, you saw Tyler in Lagos with hanging out with Thames and Era, right?
Yeah.
And they were there having an amazing time. When in Accra, I could see how many Americans who were there and people from the continent and even Ghanaians, Nigerians, South Africans, because there were even guys from SA who would come down. Like, that whole Africanness is really getting to a point. And all of us are playing our own music. Like, I barely could hear, like typical, you could hear like all of these rap songs like Drake. It was all our songs. And guys are out here listening to like an Adekunle Gold song from like 3 years ago. And this is someone from like Florida. And you're like, okay. So you see, so we're getting to that point. And for me, honestly, what I'd say is this. Everyone who's contributing to the upward trend of music on the continent is doing a damn good thing.
Yeah,
right? Because it could be a sound that emanates from South Africa. Tyler or, Casper and all of those. It could be someone who's even in Uganda, like Elijah Kitaka. You get? You don't know, not a lot of people know his sound, but he sounds good. You get? To Joshua Baraka, who's
Yeah, Maui Moon.
you know what I mean?
Maui Moon. Those guys are really good.
So all of this, or Mike Kayahura. You get? Like all of these different guys with different kind of sounds. But all of these guys are doing so much. And what I like as well is collaborations. When I was in Accra, Joshua Baraka was there as well. And he was like working on a couple of collaborations with all of these guys. To even seeing when Vibes Cartel came out, Shatawale,
man.
you know what I mean? You get? And all of that. So there's so much that's happening. When BN is connecting with DJ Obi to do a song together, he's not only just dropping the song over here, he's going all the way to Lagos and doing a media tour. We've not seen enough Kenyan artists do that. You get? So there's so many boundaries that have been broken that we got to appreciate and really say, if we keep at this pace and with this same energy, 2 years, but I will be there.
Oh, for sure. Let
me ask you something. I think you've been in touch with more artists and you've worked with them on a different level compared to maybe us guys. Do you think genuinely that maybe I see what you want. I see the goal you have in mind for where you want the industry to head. But besides the record labels and the guys at the top controlling things to a point where mse anasema, for me to get to where I want, I have to go through this and I have to do that. Now, let's keep that to the side. Besides that, creatively, where do you feel like our artists are? Do you feel like they're at a place where whatever you're saying is what is actually happening on the ground, but just that the ones that are at the surface level, it's because of the record labels and because they're doing what they want to do? Or is it because the creatives feel like they have to tie themselves down to this particular sound to make it?
Bro, I've been in studio and I've had songs that are so unique, that are so amazing, and you sit there and you wonder, like, why is this going out? And then somebody will just tell you, we have to, like, this is like a cut that's gonna go like at the bottom of the deluxe, and they're like, and I understand them. Again, at the end of the day, I would never be in there of somebody getting paid. They're like, okay, we have to make a song that sounds like this because this is what's gonna get us, like this is what's gonna book us shows, blankets. But in the studio, when you're in the studio with these guys, the level of creativity in this country in the music scene is so unbelievably high. I don't think there's any country, not even Nigerians, who are able to produce music at the level that Kenyan musicians make. We are some of the best in the world at just understanding a sound, because first of all, we are multilingual, and a lot of Kenyan artists are DIY'd. Like, you learn from yourself. In markets like Nigeria, you're an artist who starts out, and then the label will pick you up, and then they'll teach you everything. They'll teach you a certain style. They have a playbook that you have to go through. Like at this point, you have to be able to do A, B, C, D. But a lot of Kenyan artists are DIY. Ndio maana unacheki watu kama wakardinali when they make a song like Maproso, it's because they are having fun. They are fans of the Kenyan artists are fans of the art form first and foremost. It's just there's a disconnect between what they create and the advice they get and what the market is asking for. And I've always felt like the market isn't as smart as you people make it out to be. If you give people something good and it sounds great, they're gonna fuck with it. It doesn't have to sound a specific way. As long as it's good, it's gonna find its own life and grow with its own like life cycle. Wakardinali walianza wakiimba kwa nini, like in a field in Kayole doing ciphers. Over time they've grown and evolved to the point where they are right now. Kenyan artists are amazing. That is the one thing I will always say. We producers, my God, unaenda studio na msika cup, unashtuka vitu wanafanya. Unaingia studio na agent Mgombe, unashtuka vitu wanafanya. You go studio so fresh. All these guys, Zeji the fundi, in like a little kid in Karen, who's sampling anime and building soundscapes that are so unique. Blinky is doing like, you go to the studio, you go sit down with Blinky, you play him music, and he'll always be like, send me the sample, send me this, I want to listen to that. What are you listening to? Is this Japanese? A, B, C, D. You sit with these guys, the way they write. Uaya is on TikTok rapping his ass off. And he's a singer. He's rapping better than like full-on Kenyan rappers. The kids who Abanton, they are flipping samples left and right. Like they're giving life to new music every single day. Kenyan music has, and again, it always ends up with somebody in a suit. A bald man in a suit. That's why it ends. But
this guy out here throwing shit,
man.
He's speaking the truth.
I know who exactly.
No. You go anywhere, you'll find a bald man in a suit. Anyway, it always ends with a bald man in a suit who's like, you have to sound a specific way for us to get paid. Because that's the image I have of label heads. Every label head I've met is a bald man in a suit.
Ni kama kuna to ya label heads man.
Or an Indian.
Ndio uniform yao.
Those are the two. It's either an Indian or a bald man in a suit. And they'll guide you in a certain direction. Anyway.
Listen.
At the end of the day, support Kenyan music, especially Kenyan music that isn't... If you think Kenyan music is boring, like that person who came and told me, like, why do they all sound the same? There's so much more for you to discover. Just scratch beneath the surface. We have some of the most amazing artists out here.
There's a lot of good music.
Way too much.
Listen, as we wind up and exit stage left.
Multitasking chini, God.
Bruh. I was looking for this screenshot, right?
You sure you're not looking at Kelis?
Shaguna to Kelis, my girl. We'll get to that. I want to read out something. It says, I lost my mom to cancer last week. She was a huge fan of the podcast. She loved the podcast and it had a special place in her heart. I wasn't able to watch last week's episode because it was too much for me to handle. The grief and the reminder that we would always watch the episodes together. I tried again today and was finally able to get through. Wow, this guy's calling me. I'll call him. I was finally able to get through this episode today. As always, you guys are all hilarious, right? I just wanted to say a big thank you for making my mom laugh. My mom laughed during the good and the tough times. Thank you for inspiring lives, sharing gems, and adding humor to our lives. You all are doing a wonderful job with The Mics Are Open, and may it continue to prosper. So from The Mics Are Open to Paprika, we want to say our condolences to you and your family.
Much.
Definitely not easy to lose a parent.
Sorry for your loss, Paprika.
Sending love and
sorry
warmth.
for your loss.
For sure. Love and light.
Definitely. Yeah, man. So on that note, this has been The Mics Are Open.
Can you talk about G in Vietnam?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sheesh.
I was going to say something in a program, but in Yamasa.
Your moment when you may see
No, but I'm G in Vietnam. It's not in Thailand.
Shaguna to G, who's out in Vietnam. Is
he on a moped right now, on a bike, like?
No. He's been posting vlogs, so you can check out.
He's the latest travel vlogger. in the city. Yeah, man. So make sure you guys check him out. And also, he's going to be posting up some content on the
channel?
Good Company, the channel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's out there at least, walking around, recording stuff. So it should be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I personally challenged him on this trip and I told him, don't do that thing where you go on holiday and just stay in the hotel. Like, I want to see you planting
Outside.
rice.
Yeah, be a local.
Be outside. Like, I mean, you ain't got to worry about nothing. You're retired.
Do you not know your boy, bro?
No. Like I actually challenged him, was like, eat something different. Like, eat a rat. Get a massage.
Yeah.
From a man.
That's a bit extreme, don't you think?
No,
Like, my
I
man,
mean-
start with some mutton, maybe.
No.
Depends on the presentation, Sometimes.
I mean, eat all of this.
You could eat a rat and not know it's a rat until you ask, what did I eat? And you told
Like,
it's a
eat
rat.
a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Or snail.
Kula nyoka lakini
No,
ndio
like
ni tofauti, bro.
snails.
Snails, yeah.
Have you ever eaten a snail?
No, I've never eaten a
Yeah,
snail.
like snails are really yummy.
You have?
Yeah.
Escargot?
There
How
you go.
French of you?
Huh?
You too? You like it?
Yeah, like just
Nah, I had snail once, it was
take
like-
it out and just
Yeah?
slap it up. All of those different kinds
It's
of
like frog's legs. Like, frog legs. It's like,
We'll let that one pass.
Yo, let me tell you. Here's the thing. Just
Yeah.
make sure when you're going on these travels, you carry Imodium. That's it. Just a couple of hours in your loop, but you say the snail passed through my gut. You're right.
yeah,
This-
like,
okay,
before you
never
guys
mind.
came in, I was talking to Austin and I was telling him like how I want to go like to a different city this year for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go with like a package holiday. I want to plan everything for myself, get an itinerary, go experience culture. If you're going on a holiday, there are two things that are very important to me in terms of a holiday. You have to experience culture and complete intoxication. Hizo mbili. Those are
I
the
don't know
hallmarks
about
of
intoxication.
every good holiday.
I'm with it.
But
I'm
here's the
with
thing.
it.
I mean, there's I've been telling guys, and we also told you when we were talking about Vietnam. There's a whole app for sofa surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Couch
yeah.
surfing, yeah.
Like you even say, since you said you want to experience intoxication, you can get drunk with your person who's handed you the sofa. If you want to sleep with them, you also just write on the app, I would like to get some conjugal rights while I'm
Ati inaitwa
away.
nini?
Andy,
But be careful,
Andy, you're not
don't do
suffering
that in
that.
Thailand. In Thailand.
Even
Don't do
if
that in
Kenyans
Thailand,
guys
yeah?
who are enrolled on that app, anakuambia ni aje buda.
Oh, you can like set up a couch surfing account in Kenya.
Yeah, in Kenya
Oh,
as well.
nice.
Because guys
That's
that
good.
travel all over the globe.
That's such a white thing to do, though.
Si tuanzishe
Like white people
Kenya,
are so
man.
trusting. They'll look, Jambo,
Jambo.
I'm here. My name is Brad. I'm
They're
from
like-
Wisconsin.
Oh my
Kwanza after
God.
they've watched that video for what is it? The guy said Sana.
Which one?
Sawabana.
Sawabana.
The guy's like,
the guy, yeah, I remember.
I'm all about the Sawabana kind of energy.
Yeah.
You're like Sawabana? You guys
That
ever
must
watch
be the
that
white
video?
I
boy
watched
side
the
of
video.
The
Watch
white
the
guy
video.
saying,
I
in
haven't seen that.
Africa,
There's a word in Kenya.
Yeah.
Called
Called
Sawabana.
Sawabana.
Sour, it means everything's okay.
Sawabana.
Everything is okay.
Sawabana. And then he said it's Sawabana. I was like,
I love it, man.
listen, this has been the Mics Are Open, episode 292, I believe.
Yes, sir.
My name is Big C.
And the young.
Hafare.
Agre Malik.
Yeah, man.
Support Kenyan music.
Peace.
Yeah.
Out.